Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel, and I want to start this video off by thanking all of you so much for the incredible amount of support I got on my previous Speed vs Life Rune discussion video. It just did so well. It got over 2,000 views in a matter of a day, and I got so many comments. I want to thank you guys so much for putting your input. I really enjoy reading all the comments and reading about what everyone thought was going to happen, whether I was going to win, whether Anthony was going to win. So that was really amazing. Thank you guys so much. And because that video got so much support, I'm here to bring you part 2. And before I start going into the battle, I want to address a few things that I think might have been unclear in the previous video. The first thing I want to address is what the point of my video was. The point of my video was not to show you guys that life runes are better than speed runes, because that's obviously not true in all contexts. The point of my video was to show you guys that life runes should not be underestimated, and that life runes do serve a purpose in the game. And that's because a lot of people don't like life runes. They think they're irrelevant, and that's not completely true, as I showed in the previous video and as I may or may not show in this video. So we're gonna find out later on. Now I want to make one thing clear. If you're the person attacking and you have speed runes, then yes, it's obviously better for you than running life rune. However, it's only better if you have better speed runes than your opponent, which is not always the case, and I really want to make that clear. Sometimes it's not so much whether speed runes are better than life runes or strength runes. It's more of, are my runes better than my opponent's runes? So to give you guys an extreme example, if I as an attacker have 3 level 10 speed runes and my opponent has 3 level 1 speed runes, who do you think is going to win? It's obviously me. Now, is it me because I'm running all speed runes, or is it me because I'm running better runes? And that's really the question at hand that I wanted to discuss in the video. Now obviously that was an extreme example, but the same applies if I have like level 6 speed runes whereas my opponent only has level 5. The fact is that my runes are still better, which gives me a huge advantage over the enemy. And the point I was trying to make in the previous video, and the point I'm going to try to make in this video, is that life runes can help you out so much, specifically in those situations where your opponent has better runes than you, which was the case in my previous video. If you recall, the enemy Egg Eater had a level 9 rune. The enemy Eggnog had 2 level 8 team speed runes. At best, my Violet had a level 5 speed rune. Now clearly I was outmatched in runes, but somehow I was able to emerge victorious. So that's kind of the point I want to get across. To summarize really quickly, yes, speed runes are better if you're an attacker, but that only applies if your speed runes are better. If your enemy has better speed runes, I want to ask you guys, if the enemy, let's just give another example, if the enemy has 3 level 10 speed runes, what do you benefit from running 3 level 9 speedruns? No matter what, the enemies, all their monsters are gonna go before yours. Like, you really don't benefit anything. And in that case, you might as well not even run 3 speedruns. You might as well just run 1 speedrun, give your monsters a strength rune, give your monsters life rune, and you'll stand a better chance. Because if not, you have base life and you'll have base power. And yeah, the enemy has base life and base power too, but with a life rune, it's harder for them to take you out. So keep that in mind. The second thing I want to address is on the subject of fairness. Now, a few people brought it up that it's not necessarily fair to compare life runes and speed runes because I'm going against an AI, and an AI is not a real person, which means they don't do the best moves possible. And to be completely honest, I really don't understand this argument, because as of right now, there is no real player versus real player PvP. It's always real player versus AI. So I don't know why it's not fair to compare against an AI when that's all you're going to be battling. You know, it doesn't really make sense to me why it's not fair to compare against an AI. The way I see it, the fact that you're playing against the AI, you should use that to your advantage. You go in knowing that the AI isn't going to use the best possible moves on certain situations. That's an advantage you should use. And going back to the whole rune discussion, is it really fair that I have a level 5 rune when my opponent has level 8, 9, and 10 runes? I want you guys to answer that. Is that really fair? I imagine most people are going to say no, which is great because that kind of creates a balance. Like, yes, it's not fair to the enemy that they are being controlled by an AI, but it's not fair to me that they have way better runes than me. So there's that. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts about that though, if anyone agrees or disagrees with me on that point. Now, the last thing that some people brought up is that they wanted to see more diversity, not just going against monsters that have all speed, but maybe like an enemy monster that has a strength rune in there, and that's what I'm actually going to do in this video. As you can see, his rare is level 80, he's actually ranked up. He has 3 level 5 team speed runes. His Egg Eater has a level 7, 2 level 6 speed runes. His MEGAOSTEUM, on the other hand, has 2 speed and actually a level 6 strength rune. So all level 6 runes, but 1 strength rune. So how do you guys think this battle is going to turn out? And I guess before I ask that, I actually have to show you my team. So let me go ahead and press play on this. So now that you guys can see my team, you probably have a better chance at trying to figure out who's going to win. So before I ask you guys to pause the video and comment below who you think is going to win, let me address some few changes I made. The first change I made is that Darmith, instead of having 3 strength runes, he actually has 2 strength runes and a level 5 life rune. Now one important thing to note is that these 2 new strength runes combined together are actually equal to that of the 3 previous runes, because if you recall, last time I had like 2 level 3 runes. So Darmith's strength is actually the same. The only change is that he has a life rune, and on my Galante I decided not to give him an individual strength rune. I decided to give him a team strength rune to actually buff up my Darmith, and I'll explain that later on as I'm going through the battle. And what's different on the opponent's side, besides the difference in runes, is that the MEGAOSTEUM, the enemy monster attacker, now he's actually an attacker. He has a strength rune. And before I ask you guys to comment below who you think is gonna win, I have to make one thing clear. Just because I'm making this video series, just because it's life versus speed discussion, rune discussion, that doesn't mean I'm gonna win every single battle. I actually have about 8 or 10 more videos recorded, and I'm telling you right now, I do not win them all. So don't think just because I won in the previous video that I'm also going to win in this video, or that I'm going to win in future videos, because that's not the case. I think if I was to purposely choose all the battles I won, that would be really unfair to you guys, because it would be a really biased view set, and I think you guys would lose respect for me, and I wouldn't be very trustworthy if I only showed what I wanted to show. And that's not what I want to do. I want to just inform you guys. Whether it be wins or losses, I want to show you guys everything. That's why I show you guys my PvP requests where I lose them all. That's where I show you my full Team Wars videos where I do lose some. I don't win them all. I'm not a perfect player. No one is. So keep that in mind when you comment below. I'm not going to win them all. Don't think just because you're watching this video that means I'm going to win. I want you guys to look at the monsters, look at the runes, figure out how you think it's going to go down, like what is Egg Eater going to do, what is MEGAOSTEUM going to do, how am I going to respond, what's my strategy. I want you guys to try to build that intuition. So at this point, go ahead and pause the video and comment below who you think is going to win and why. Thank you to everyone who participated, paused the video and commented below. And now I'm just going to give you guys how I think about games before I choose who I'm going to battle. So when I was approaching this battle, I thought Egg Eater's going to go first, obviously, and he's probably going to do his AoE possession. And when that happens, Galante can't be possessed. Darmith has a 35% chance to not be possessed. Now if he is possessed, I'll just use Dragon Berserker and buff him up for the next turn. If he ends up not being possessed, I'll just do a strong attack. Maybe I'll do his AoE burn, take out his rare, or maybe I'll just do an individual single attack on Egg Eater to try to take him out before he can do his AoE burn and blind. So that's my thought process on Egg Eater going first, but then it moves over to MEGAOSTEUM. Now one advantage you should be using is that the AI, however the algorithm is set up or for whatever reason, they always, if you notice, they take out your common, your uncommon, your rare, they always attack them first. So with MEGAOSTEUM, there's 3 possible things I'm seeing. The first is that the enemy has equipped the 45 damage AoE. Now if this is the case, he'll probably do that skill, wipe out my rare, deal some massive damage to my legendaries, but I'm still in a really good position. The second thing that could happen, and this would kind of suck, is if he does his AoE burn, because that would probably kill my rare, and that would potentially burn Darmith and Galante, so that wouldn't be good on my part. And the third thing he could do is probably do an individual single attack on my rare, and that'll probably be Bone Chomp, so that's potentially going to be Bone Chomp. That's what I anticipate happening, and that's actually not so bad because I am honestly using my rare kind of like a meat shield in this game. Now you obviously don't have to do that if you have your rare ranked up, but most of us don't have all our monsters ranked up. And I know some of you might be thinking armor. The point of war is not to get 2 coins, it's to try to get 3 coins. But I have to tell you guys, sometimes that's just not possible. I really wish I would have showed you guys the roster for the team we faced. They all had really high level speedruns. If you saw, the opponent I'm playing right now, he's number 4. He's the enemy's ranked 4. When we started this war, my recommended opponent to face was number 24, which just goes to show you how outclassed we were in this war. But hey, that happens. The matchups aren't always fair. And the reason I didn't go against 24 or below, 24, 25, 26, up to 30, is because you got to keep in mind, this is Team Wars. I have team members who probably can't afford to take on the rank 4 on the enemy team. So for that reason, I can't just go and obliterate the number 29, the number 30, get an easy 3 coins in, because then my teammates won't be able to do the same. And overall, we end up getting less coins than we would if I go for harder opponents. That being said, I'm going to start the battle and we're going to see how it goes. So let's see, starting battle, it starts off with Egg Eater, and he does possessing eggs. So let's see what happens here. 2 of my monsters are confused. Of course my rare lives, and Galante can't be possessed. So it's gonna move over to MEGAOSTEUM, and let's see what MEGAOSTEUM actually does. And cool, he did Bone Chop. So my rare is going to die, and then it moves over to Galante. Now at this point, I imagine lots of you probably see my strategy. Galante, he does not have an AoE possession, but what he does have are 2 individual possession skills. And what does the enemy have? The enemy has a buffed out MEGAOSTEUM with a level 6 strength rune, so I'm obviously going to use that against him. So let's see which move I decide to use. And so I decide to respond with Amor de whatever. I did an attack, he's possessed, my Darmith is possessed. It's cool though because I can do Dragon Berserker, so I have 2 times damage. I also ignore 50% of damage. And look, let's take a look at that. Egg Eater, his speed runes are so fast that he actually is gonna go twice. So I'm in a little trouble, but again, that enemy MEGAOSTEUM is technically on my team, and my Galante cannot be possessed, which is the huge advantage I'm playing with because I can just keep possessing that MEGAOSTEUM. And also keep in mind, Galante has a skill that drains 100% stamina, so if ever I feel that I'm in danger, I can drain his MEGAOSTEUM stamina, or I can potentially drain the Egg Eater stamina, or I even have a stamina leak AoE, so I really feel that I'm in a good spot. Egg Eater responded with his chomp that did poison. Now his rare is going, the blinding shield, so that actually reduced my accuracy, which kinda sucks, but hey, you never know what can happen. Let's see what he does. Hopefully it was an AoE. No, it was another bone chomp, so he took out his own rare. He did multi-egg effects. I got blinded and burned. Luckily Darmith didn't get anything, so there you see my Galante dying, but I mean, it's just bound to happen. I'm pretty sure I went in for the possession, so as you can see, poison burned, my runes there. Yeah, I did possession, nightmares, and of course it missed. So let's see what happened here. He did asteroids, I took damage, but I didn't die. Okay, so asteroids, it's pretty weak even with that level 6 strength rune, so that was fortunate on my part, but at no point has the enemy missed or anything. I went ahead and did final slash, and I took out his Egg Eater, and that's the benefit of having an attacker. It moves over to my Galante. He's really close to dying, but that doesn't really matter because after Galante is Darmith, and I did mention I have a skill that removes all the stamina from the enemy target, which is what I'm going to proceed to do. So I did the skill, and of course it misses. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get 1 coin, maybe 2 coins. Oh cool, he did prehistoric power. Yes, everyone, yes, that was probably a blunder on the AI's part. He could have probably done Bone Chomp and taken out my Galante. For whatever reason, he didn't. And again, that's something to keep in mind. Whether you call it luck, whether you call it whatever, use the advantage that the AI doesn't always choose the best possible skills. So moving on, it moves over to Darmith. And Darmith obviously is really buffed out. So I'm just gonna use his strong AoE, final flare, and there we go. I was able to get 2 coins, and I'm curious, did you guys think I was going to win that match, or did you guys think I was going to lose that match? Go ahead and go back to your comment below, and let me know what your final thoughts were on the video. Or on the battle, I should say. I hope you guys really enjoyed part 2 to the speed versus life rune discussion video. Let me know if you guys want to see more. Let me know what you thought about the entire video, or about the entire discussion I'm bringing forth to the Monster Legends community. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.